Anyhow, all right, we'll begin, though, with President Trump reigniting the controversy around his campaign's June 2016 Trump Tower meeting with Russians. Tweeting on Sunday, fake news reporting a complete fabrication, that I am concerned about the meeting my wonderful son, this is always bad when he does this, Donald, had in Trump Tower. This was a meeting to get information on an opponent, totally legal and done all the time in politics, and it went nowhere. I did not know about it.
This
means he knew about it and his son really messed up.
Yeah,
that's my translation.
Three lies right in a row. Boom, boom, boom.
He appears to be referring to the Washington Post reporting, quote, Trump has confided to friends and advisors that he is worried the Mueller probe could destroy the lives of what he calls innocent and decent people. Remember when he called you about Miller, Joe?
Yep.
Anyhow, namely Trump Jr., who is under scrutiny by Mueller for his role in organizing a June 2016 meeting at Trump Tower with Russians promising dirt on Hillary Clinton. Let me help you understand. That's bad. You know he's up and tweeting. As one advisor described the president's thinking, he does not believe his son purposefully broke the law.
Well, since ignorance of the law is actually a oh, wait, never mind.
But is fearful, nonetheless, that Trump Jr. inadvertently may have wandered into legal jeopardy. On Saturday, former communications director Hope Hicks was spotted on the tarmac joining the president on his trip to Ohio. According to Trump Jr.'s Senate testimony, Hicks was in the middle of the president dictating his son's misleading statement about adoptions to the New York Times, followed by explanations that quickly unraveled.
Politics is not the nicest business in the world, but it's very standard where they have information and you take the information. In the case of Don, he listened. I guess they talked about, as I see it, they talked about adoption and some things.
There was nothing, that, as far as we know, that would lead anyone to believe that that there was anything except for a discussion about adoption of the Majinsky Act.
The president didn't sign off on anything. He was coming back from the G20. The statement that was released on Saturday was released by Donald Trump Jr., and I'm sure in consultation with his lawyers. The president wasn't involved in that.
He certainly didn't dictate, but, you know, he, like I said, he weighed in, offered suggestion like any father would do.
It really is, John Heilemann, it's breathtaking. We're used to the lying, but on something this big, perhaps the most important part of this entire investigation, everything you heard from every White House representative there was a lie. And Donald Trump admitted this weekend they were all lying. What are the consequences of this?
Well, I don't know what the consequences are, but I know that it's an indication that some folks here are not just in serious trouble, but now recognize they're in serious trouble. And I think if you ask the question, Joe, you know, last week we watched as Donald Trump went further, deeper into the realm of like public obstruction of justice when he started attacking the Mueller probe, started suggesting that the Attorney General should shut it down. We now have a pretty clear explanation for why that is, which is that the president now is looking at the Manafort trial, starting to focus on Rick Gates, starting to focus on some of the things that perhaps Michael Cohen has told investigators about this meeting, about what might have led up to it, about who might have known what about it in advance, about what the president's role might have been, about what Donald Jr.'s role certainly was. We already have a lot of email on an email trail on that. And as the president has started to recognize, you know, we used all the various metaphors, but walls closing in, and the facts, that the actual facts are starting to become closer and closer to the surface, and corroborating witnesses are starting to either come forward or appear to about to become forward. The president is in the exact 180-degree opposite to what his statement in the tweet says, as Mika suggested just a second ago. You know, if he's up and tweeting about how he's not concerned about Donald Trump Jr., he's concerned about Donald Trump Jr.
He's concerned about Donald Trump Jr. And Phil Rucker, he's concerned that Donald Trump Jr. may have stumbled into some illegal territory on his own. Also, obviously, he's got to be concerned by the fact that, again, it's going to be coming out not only whether it's in the Manafort trial or somewhere else, that it's obvious that meeting from the very beginning was to get information from foreign nationals, in this case the Russians, which is a crime. They can run around, people, lawyers running on collusion's not a crime. Anybody knows, a lowly ranking congressman like I was in my first year understood you can't get an in-kind contribution from, you know, mullahs in Iran or Vladimir Putin in Russia.
That's right, Joe. And the president is concerned. He's anxious. He's fearful about where this is all headed. His legal team is focused on that Trump Tower meeting, as they have been for some time. That is a key moment in the Mueller investigation. But our reporting, despite what the president tweeted in response to it, very much is that he's worried about Don Jr. He's expressed that worry to the people that he's been talking to on the phone. He's been privately brooding over this, sort of feeling very uneasy that Mueller seems to be inching closer and closer to the Oval Office, to the people in the president's circle. And that's why you've seen him, the president, lashing out on Twitter, lashing out at these campaign rallies, tearing into the media, tweeting about the witch hunt more and more and more, tweeting about Robert Mueller by name more and more and more. That's how he's channeling all of that frustration and fear.
You know, it's important to keep reviewing the facts, especially as the president and others try and muddle them on Twitter.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.